Hello class, my name is Carlos Alvarado and this is MPA 530, week number 4, and we're going to be talking about budget analysis for the city I chose. Quick overview, we're going to do a quick introduction of the city, how physically the city is. We're going to talk about indicators were used to assess the city's physical solvency. We're all going to talk about city budgets versus CAFR, and then go ahead and close this with the closing statement. Hello, Madam Mayor and fellow council members. My name is Carlos Alvarado. In my presentation, I will be reviewing the CAFR for the fiscal year of 2021 and to see if the city of San Fernando is physical solvency. In the next couple slides, we will be seeing how physically solvent the city of San Fernando is. Net position. The net position is important because it tells you if the city is able to pay their debts with their assets. In the fiscal year of 2021, the city of San Fernando had enough assets to cover their liabilities. Their net position was about 11,778,827. This is a good position for the city to be in. In the next slides, we will be using several indicators from two different tests. The first test would be the Brown's 10-point test, and we will use some indicators from that test. And then we will go on to the Wang's, Dennis, and two solvency tests, and we will get some indicators from that to see if the city of San Fernando is physical solvencies. First, we will look at Brown's 10 points indicators. We will first be looking into the Brown's 10-point test, and I will be using 4 indicators from it out of the 10. The first one is the total revenue per capita. And this one, we get the total revenue divided by the population, and it gives us that the city is making about $1,512.99, and that is a good sign. The next indicator will be the total expenditures per capita. This is found by getting the total expenditures from and dividing it by the population of the city, which is about 23,726, and the total comes out to $1,243.70. As you can see from previous revenue and the expenditure, the expenditure is less than the revenue, which is a good sign for the city. The next one we're going to be looking into indicator is intergovernmental revenues divided by the total revenues percentage. And this is found by getting the intergovernment revenue from the general fund divided by the general fund total revenue, and that equals about 13% is from intergovernmental revenue. The property tax or own source tax revenue divided by the total revenue percentage. This we measure it by getting the total tax revenue levied locally for the general fund divided by the total general fund revenue. And as you can see, this property tax is about 76% of the general fund money comes from property tax. Next, we will look at Wang, Dennis, and Tu's solvency test indicators. Next, we will be looking at Wang, Dennis, and Tu's solvency tests, and we have chosen 5 indicators from their test. They also have similarities for the Brown's test, so I will let you know which ones are those and skip over it since you already heard it from the previous slide. And those are the revenues per capita and the expenditures per capita. So those are the same, and I will not be reviewing it in this slide. Next, we will be looking at the current ratio. That one makes good measure by the current assets versus divided by the current liabilities. As you can see, the assets are divided by the liabilities, and we have a ratio of 1.01. This is an estimate due to rounding up, and being in the positive, that is a good sign. Next, we will be looking at the indicator for operating ratio, and that is measured by total revenues divided by total expenses. And after reviewing, the expenses come out, it equals about, the ratio is about 1.2. Being in the positive, that is a good sign of a good operating ratio. The last indicator we will be looking at is tax per capita. This is different from the Brown's 10 point. This is looking at all the taxes divided by the population compared to Brown's where it was calculating just from the general fund. And the tax per capita for the city of San Fernando is about $985.82. The city budget versus the CAFR and the ACFR. The city budget is looking into the future of the next fiscal period, and it's usually up to the next year. Sometimes it goes a little bit further depending on the city, and it's showing how it's going, how they're planning to allocate uh, the revenue into being spent. And the difference from the CAFR is from the previous fiscal year, and it's showing you how it's actually being spent. And most of the time, the CAFR is done by a private, uh, someone outside the department, and that way is to prevent any false reporting or anything like that, and to see how the taxes of the citizens is actually being spent. In conclusion, Madam Mayor and fellow council members, I have found using the indicators from Brown's 10 point and Wang's Dennis and two solvency tests that the city of San Fernando has great indicators that the city is physically solvent and it's in a great track for the future. I would like to thank you for your time and have a great rest of your time.